Now, some players flopped this season. I mean, some of them really flopped. And some players even made clubs question as to why they even opened transfer negotiations in the first place. Today, I'm bringing you some of the biggest flops from the Premier League this season. And yes, your team probably isn't safe either. From overpriced transfers that now look like they make no sense to some big names disappearing in even some of the smallest games. This Premier League season had no shortage of letdowns whatsoever. Whether it's a former player of the year completely disappearing and looking like he's even lost on the football pitch, or a striker up front who couldn't finish his dinner even if it was spoon-fed to him. We are counting down some of the biggest flops in the Premier League this season. So before we even get into it, as we're going along, make sure you guys comment down below who has been your biggest disappointment this season. But first, let's get into the list. Number 5, Federico Chiesa at Liverpool. Now, across all competitions, Chiesa has made 20 appearances. Do you want to know how many goals he's gotten? 2. Do you want to know how many assists he's gotten? 1. Obviously, I know the price itself was relatively low. For the caliber of player we were used to seeing in the Serie A, week in, week out, the player who played for Liverpool is not the same player. Now, this was down to injuries, lack of consistency when it came to form, and the fact that even in the front line of Liverpool, the chemistry just didn't really seem to be there with Chiesa. This transfer was definitely a flop. And this was the reason why he was in and out of the side. Now, again, this flop didn't really derail any of Liverpool's plans per se. They still went on to win the Premier League in a fantastic campaign. However, for Federico Chiesa, someone of Champions League pedigree, this was no doubt an underwhelming season for him. Number 4, Rasmus Hojlund. Now, I can even go off script for what I want to say about Rasmus Hojlund. I feel like there isn't a shortage of adjectives to use to describe how bad he has played this season. In the Premier League this season, he's played 32 games. Do you want to know how many goals he scored? He's not scored 2. He's not scored 20 for damn sure. He scored the exact same as the rank that he has in this list. 4. 4 goals in 32 games for someone who they paid £72 million for. 72 million Great British pounds sterling. That is disgusting. And in all competitions, he hasn't even cracked 10 goals. I get it. Last season, he did do a little bit better. But this year, he has completely stunk. Now, this list isn't just for players that came in this season. I've got all the smoke for all the players in the league. The safety is fully off. His form was so bad this year, he went on a streak of more than 15 games without a goal. Now, yes, United are a broken side this season, finishing around 14th or 15th. And, no European football, no prospects. We can go on and on and on. But even within this broken unit of Manchester United, how Rasmus Hojlund still managed to look lost on the football pitch is beyond me. Now, don't get me wrong. He is still 21. He is a very young striker. But even the chances he did get, he didn't even look like scoring them. Now, yes, I get it. It might sound a bit harsh, especially for a 21-year-old striker. But this just further proves that he's not the man right now for Manchester United. This season definitely exposed his rawness and the fact that he still has a lot to work on in his game if he wants to be that striker, wants to be that main man for Manchester United, and I guess revive his career so early on, at least at the highest level of football. Next on the list, and number 3, Phil Foden. Now, Phil Foden, whoo! How long have you guys got? I'm joking. Phil Foden actually hasn't been completely terrible this season, but off the back of winning Player of the Year last year, helping City win their 4th consecutive title in a row, he absolutely stunk this year. In the Premier League this season, in 29 appearances, he got 7 goals and 2 assists. For someone who's meant to step up to be the leader in this Manchester City team, the player that they can rely on week in, week out, alongside Erling Haaland, he has absolutely disappointed. If you want to look at his stats across all competitions, in 39 games, he's got 9 goals and 6 assists. It doesn't seem that bad on paper. But when you actually start to watch football with your eyes, you watch it week in, week out, and you see the performances that this player is putting up, it's bad. It's bad, bro. It's really bad. Not only did he struggle to impose himself in big games, but I guess even in the smaller games, other players were just stepping up and doing better. We saw the magic of Jeremy Doku and Savinho this season a lot more. Of course, Erling Haaland is going to get his customary or complimentary 20 goals this year. That's standard. Even when Marmoush came in, shine. Bernardo Silva did much better. Phil Foden, who won Player of the Year, the person who everyone in English media seems to think is the chosen one, the next Gascoigne, the one that, England should build their team around. He didn't perform. Now, don't get me wrong. Phil Foden is an incredibly talented football player. Honestly, he's sensational. But this season, he was far from it. He did not look like his previous self. He didn't look like the self that we were used to seeing in the Premier League week in, week out. And ultimately, he just might not be that guy. But that's just my opinion. I think he's great, but this season, he was definitely not great. And that's the reason why I say number 3, especially because of the drop-off from last season. It's sad to see. Hopefully next year he can pick himself up and, get back to delivering double digits in goals and, pushing on with the assists and being a real talisman for Man City, especially now that Kevin De Bruyne is leaving. Let's see. Number 2 on this list is Raheem Sterling. Oh my goodness. Raheem Sterling's loan move to Arsenal was shambolic. I'll be honest with you guys, I'm going off script. I don't need a script to describe how badly Raheem Sterling's loan to Arsenal has been this year. And this is the harsh truth. From someone who was a star boy at Liverpool, then cemented himself as one of the best wingers in the league at Manchester City, going to Chelsea, kind of falling off, not doing well, and coming into Arsenal in the season where, this is where he said, you're about to see the best of me. This is the season where Arsenal were really supposed to push on and add that quality. He absolutely underperformed. For Arsenal, it was a gamble that, frankly, no one really asked for. But given his experience, given the quality that we know Sterling has, and given the fact that Arteta has worked so closely with him, this seemed that, okay, it might actually work out. This might be the person who can fill in for Saka when he is a bit tired, fill in for Saka so that he doesn't get injured. But when he did come into the team, he didn't really do much. With no goals in the Premier League this season and 1 assist, Raheem Sterling has been a disappointment. Like, if we're actually being honest, out of all of the big names in the Premier League, especially this season, Raheem Sterling has been the most anonymous, high-profile player we've seen this year. And for Arsenal, he might actually make the list for one of the worst signings they've made ever. Even though it was a loan, I don't understand how a player still seemed to be some sort of a burden for the team. It doesn't really make sense. The only good side is there isn't an obligation to buy, and Chelsea paid most of his wages. But even then, I think most fans were calling for us to cancel the transfer midway through the season because he was that bad. Now, don't get me wrong, I absolutely love Raheem Sterling. For me, he still goes down as one of England's best ever wingers. But this season, he has stunk. It's actually hurt his legacy. I think it's time for him to maybe change league, go and retire in Italy or Spain, or maybe even collect the bag in Saudi. But this year did no favors for Raheem Sterling at all, unfortunately, as much as I hate to say it. And lastly on the list, guys, I'm leaving it up to you. Who is your player that you think has been the biggest flop this season? Make sure you guys comment it down below and I'll read through, and whoever gets the most likes, that is the player who's been the biggest flop this season. Now, there's some honorable mentions for flops this season, such as Darwin Nunez, Jack Grealish. Jack Grealish, I'm going to do another video about separately because I think what he's done at Manchester City, he's gotten away with murder. He's gone away with murder. I need to dive into it and I need to explain it to you guys in full. But make sure you guys subscribe and smash the like button if you really enjoyed this video. There's gonna be a video popping up on screen right here. So make sure you guys watch that because I think you guys will enjoy it just as much, probably even more. So watch that, and until next time, keep it real, and I'll see you when I see you in a bit.